Let's reflect on last night's win by Collingwood. You just got the sense, particularly early in the first quarter, that, and you can never ever write West Coast off, believe me, but you just felt as though Collingwood, it was going to be their night.
Well, they came to play, TJ, and I love the fact that they didn't say much during the week, Lordo. They went over there and they were very, very silent throughout the week. And what I thought they went with a game plan last night of move the ball on very quickly at all costs. We need to get through West Coast. We need to get the ball moving quickly to get it down past Jeremy McGovern. And they took chances with the footy. Yes, they tightened up a little bit late towards the last quarter, but they set this up in the first quarter. That's why Mason Cox had one-on-one opportunities in the first quarter, the pace of the ball movement, and it was a famous win by the Pies.
Yeah, you're spot on, Bernie. I said during the week, they have to do something different to win a final. They hadn't kicked more than 10 goals for about the last 6 or 7 weeks, and against top sides, they just couldn't score, and they were bolder with the ball. He was bold at selection, Bill, to bring in Darcy Cameron, which we'll talk about.
And gave him some time.
Gave him time, took Grundy out of it. Grundy
backed in Stevenson, it was okay.
He did, so well done, Nathan Buckley.
And there was a fair bit of incentive too, or at least motivation, I suppose, other than staying alive in this finals race. And that was the local media in Western Australia, not least the West Australian newspaper. This is what the Pies woke up to on Tuesday morning, dirty pies. And that would have stung, wouldn't it?
Oh, no doubt. You don't like to read that, but you can make it work for you, which they did, which was fantastic.
They certainly did. And what I thought was really interesting was post-match when they spoke to Scott Pendlebury on the ground. Now, it's not the sort of interview that you expect Scott Pendlebury to actually partake in, because normally it would be, yeah, look, you know, we're just happy to get the win, you know, we'll go back now. But no, in the words of Teddy, he stuck it right up.
I think we fly out tomorrow morning, so, yeah, we leave on a bus. We're classified as dirty over here, so and the crowd let us know that tonight. So we'll happily get out and get back to the sunny coast and reacquaint with our family.
Well done to Scotty there. And what about this after the game? I saw a nuffy who was banging the bin. I thought, who's this nuffy banging the bin here after a great win? And it's a coach, of course, Nathan Buckley. This is how much this means to him. He's sitting up the box. They've been through all that quarantine during the week, all that dirty stuff, the camper vans, and that is one of the great wins that they have had at this club, I reckon. That is fantastic. And they'll go with a lot of momentum, won't they, Kano?
They will, Bill. You're spot on. And if they had have lost Collingwood, I think we would have been speaking about the role of Brodie Grundy, and Lordo alluded to it, but he did go with Darcy Cameron for big moments. This guy's played 10 games. So to start the third quarter, Grundy started on the bench and West Coast kicked a quick goal. And then to start the last quarter, the same thing happened. West Coast kick a goal within 20 seconds of the last quarter. And at crucial moments, Brodie Grundy's sitting on the bench and you've got a 10-game ruckman in the ruck. With 1 minute 17 to go, when West Coast are trailing by 1 point, Darcy Cameron's in the ruck and Brodie Grundy's on the bench. Now, he's got 7 years to go of this big deal. I don't think he's injured. Nathan Buckley says he's not injured, but it was interesting tactics that, in the end, worked for Collingwood, I guess.
Kane, do you think they select Darcy Cameron again this week? If someone would say you're crazy, of course they will, but it's against Geelong. So, you know, do you think they'll pick him again?
I think they will, because Stanley's back in. They got Blixar's in there as well, and I thought Geelong's tools were pretty good on Thursday night. The conditions, maybe if it's slippery, they'll have a look at that before the game. But to have Cox, Grundy, and Cameron was an interesting selection, but one that you'd have to say they'll go with again.
Hey, Kane, the vision you showed of Nick Naitanui just putting it down his midfielder's throat, giving him an armchair right in that last quarter, came down to a bit over a minute to go. They were coming hard, the West Coast Eagles, and what needed to happen for Collingwood was someone to stand up in the middle and not allow that to happen. Then steps up Taylor Adams. Have a look at Taylor Adams' pretty much his last 90 seconds. This is his first bounce. They just can't get it clear, Ed. They get the ball out through Taylor Adams. So he gets the first touch, comes out here, does well by Noble, goes up. Taylor Adams again tries to impact the contest. Nice pick up by Quainer, but then Taylor Adams is the one that clears this ball. So they need the clearance, they get the clearance. West Coast get it back. Have a look at this ball into the middle of the ground. Now let's pause it here. This is Taylor Adams trying to get back. He realises that there's a problem here. If he gets this handball, there are players. He can't impact back here. So he decides to come back and smothers. I reckon if Taylor Adams doesn't do those two actions, Collingwood can't win. Massive last 90 seconds.
Yeah, good
work, Bernie. One thing about Mason Cox, whether you love him or loathe him, he has self-belief. He has the belief in himself that he's good enough at AFL level, and he's always going to be remembered for that one preliminary final where he let loose and everyone said, what else has he done since? Well, he's put together another finals masterclass, and he only had 3 disposals after quarter time. But that first quarter, they were 4 goals to 1 up, and really gave them the confidence they could go on and win this game of footy. So brilliant performance from Coxon. Look at him. He's been dropped this year, but that isn't like a player who lacks any self-belief.
His body work was good last night. He got McGovern out of the way, he got Barras out of the way, and just the swagger. Look at him go.
And he knows how to play the game now, doesn't he?
And he's had a good month, Bill. So
He
it's
has.
not just a one-off. I think his last 4 weeks since he's come back in has been pretty good.
Damo, there's no doubt this has been a quirky season, but it just got a whole lot quirkier and disappointing for the West Coast Eagles. Can you explain?
Yeah, it did. They've still now got to serve their 14 days of quarantine. It's a relatively relaxed quarantine compared with some around other states in the country. But again, it's a reset because of the dirty nature that Collingwood Footy Club was attached to when they were playing them last night. But I just think also too, TJ, that club, the Eagles, they were moping about their situation very publicly, very early days when they first came to South East Queensland, and they then sort of got themselves on track for a period of time, went back to Perth, and then sooked it up again when they had to come back again, and then went back home for that final. They didn't do themselves any great service in being that way, and I think when they do their debrief on the season, they really need to look at how they handled it publicly, at least, from the highest levels of the club, with the complaints that they had made about their situation.